Taken out of context. Taken out of context.
Taking things out of context and out of context.
Taken out of context.
Taken out of context.
In the context.
We have some context. Out of context.
Out of context.
That is so out of context.
And take shit out of context. Out of context.
Out of context.
You're taking it out of context. No, hey, we're gonna flesh this out. I want to say we don't take things out of context.
Clips me out of context.
If it's out of context.
It's hard for your words to be taken out of context. The full context.
In a modern day context.
Tell me the context.
Another important reminder as to why context is so important. So,
Hey everybody, it's Barbara Ann. Welcome back to my channel, Straight Out of Context. Fair use disclaimer, free speech disclaimer. So, Gypsy Rose Blanchard is back to promoting her YouTube channel. I am not going to play any of her videos with sound because I'm doing my commentary and I'm not going to even play around with copyright sounds here. She says, hey everyone, I wanted to let you all know that I'll be focusing mainly on YouTube and Instagram going forward. If you want to keep up with me, my content, and everything I'm working on, make sure you're following me on those platforms. She doesn't make content and she's not working on anything. That's the biggest lie that she's ever sold herself. But the constant manipulation of being a victim who overcame trauma and abuse. For the fourth time, removing and reposting Kim Kardashian, promoting her book and her show from over a year ago, a docu-series that's almost 2 years old exactly. But she wasn't going to exploit motherhood or her baby. She wants everybody to feel and think that she is a victim who overcame the worst circumstances and is rebuilding a future. In June and July of 2024, she had a YouTube channel under Gypsy Rose Media. It didn't go far and it didn't take long before she up and quit it. And then she had another one, Gypsy and Ken, Magic in the Chaos. It was supposed to be family vlogging, but she has since changed the description to updates about Gypsy Rose. Yet she hasn't changed the cover art, the photo. The same girl who once told Nicholas Godejohn that when she was 6 years old, she was at a hospital during a surgery and doctors said that she had a seizure and was paralyzed. The doctors didn't know if the paralysis was temporary. She started getting tingling in her legs, but she kept it to herself. And she kept it from her mom because she was afraid of her mom knowing the truth. Yes, this is what Gypsy verbatim told Nicholas Godejohn. But when she was 16 in her medical records, patient reports, meaning Gypsy Rose, was reporting the same thing to doctors. However, they knew that something wasn't right and that she had to be walking, meaning she wasn't paralyzed because her muscles never atrophied. And the reason why her legs never atrophied was because she walked every day. Muscles will atrophy if you are immobile, starting at 24 hours or more. But I just want to show you this. Becca Scoops also shared this. It is a photo that somebody took of Gypsy and her baby out in the wild. And guess what? They didn't expose her face uncensored in the public domain. And Gypsy and her friends pretty much remained mum on the whole issue of baby Aurora's pictures being leaked. And the only explanation I saw from her best friend, Bree, on a live panel was her crying, saying that it wasn't her place to talk about it. The reason why is because they don't want everybody to know which pictures are real and which pictures are AI. But it's very easy to tell the difference, especially when you already know and have seen what baby Aurora looks like from the moment she was born. And like I said, she is a cute baby, but she's just a baby. Everybody thinks that their own baby is the cutest baby ever. And Aurora is a typical looking baby. She does have blue eyes. They are not bright blue, however. Gypsy also posted this video of her and Ken taking Aurora to see Santa, which is really funny that she's trying to do body checks the whole time. Ken asks her about the song that it's playing and whether or not she can guess who it is. And she says Billy Joel, and she gets overwhelmed with joy that she was correct. Which is funny because I believe that is Dancing in the Dark by Bruce Springsteen. So he's pretty much just playing a prank on her. And why would that be? Because I think Ken is an asshole. He really gets off on thinking that he is the smartest person in the world. He also has a weird thing with belittling and talking down to Gypsy. And we've seen him do it multiple times when he exposed that she doesn't eat while pregnant, and she went from 149 pounds down to 129 pounds, losing 20 pounds during her second and third trimester. She told him, "You can't say that because it makes it sound like I'm not eating," because she wasn't. He got really upset because he doesn't care about social media. He doesn't care what TikTok and YouTube and content creators have to say about her. He can't keep up with the rumors. And then there was the whole issue at the restaurant trying to force her to try octopus, shaming her because she didn't want to try it. She's never tried it, and she didn't seem receptive and open to trying it. So again, it's really funny that he defends this supposed abuse that Gypsy Rose endured under the hands of her mother, Claudinia Blanchard. However, he slipped up and said, yeah, so what if she was walking inside of the house? Yeah, we know that. We know that. Her leg muscles would have atrophied and she wouldn't have been able to walk had she been in a wheelchair for over 10 years, from 14 to 24. So that is just physically impossible. But yet he still gets off on publicly shaming her, embarrassing her, belittling her. And I think it's about a control element, because that is something he and Ryan Anderson very much shared. They both want to control, not just Gypsy, the relationship, the private life, the home life, family, friends, social media. And it seems really ironic that both of them were attracted to her only when they seen and thought that she had cameras, fame, money, clout, attention, because that is what Ken Urker and Ryan Anderson are really attracted to. Gypsy Rose can get a brand new denture. She can get the most expensive wig. She can get the most luxurious makeup. She cannot eat and smoke a pack a day of cigarettes while pregnant to lose the weight. She can buy $200 pairs of jeans from Good American. But what she can't do is she cannot change who Ken Urker really is. She can't change who Ryan really is or who she really is. She can't change her past and her crime that made her well known. She can't change the fact that she's always going to be hated. She is a convicted murderer, a proven pathological liar. She can change anything about her appearance, even have a nose job, but that's not going to change her on the inside or change who she really is. And that is not what Ryan or Ken was attracted to begin with. That's why I believe, in my own opinion, that Ryan Anderson is having a hard time letting go of Gypsy Rose. It's not her. He never really knew her, the real Gypsy Rose. He's having a hard time with the rejection because when she left, she took her fame, her revenue, her clout, and her cameras. I think he's having a hard time with the fame, the attention, letting it go, because a little taste of fame and notoriety will make people do the most obscene and obnoxious things. But internally, psychologically, there are people that genuinely crave that kind of stardom. And when they get a taste of it and then it is taken from them, it's hard to process that rejection. That's why Ryan specifically tries so hard to maintain that people are there for him, when nobody would know who the fuck he is if murderer Gypsy Rose Blanchard wasn't bumping uglies and married to him, then cheated on him and left him and divorced him while having a whole baby on him. But Ken certainly exudes the same kind of controlling behavior that Ryan Anderson does. Anyone else find it odd how Gypsy always puts Aurora away from Gypsy and Ken? Even her card TV tray tables have a K and a G cricket cutouts on them, but not an A. Even her Christmas photos, you can see stockings on the wall, and you don't see A, you only see the G and the K. Now, it has been said for the last few months that they are actually engaged to be married. They are supposed to be completely tight-lipped about it. However, rumors have been going around from her inner circle, leaked to content creators since about a week and a half after she got off parole and before her birthday. And their recent family photo with Santa certainly does not give physically and sexually attracted to each other. There seems to be no affection, no intimacy, no love. So if they are technically engaged, but there is no ring yet or no date set yet, and they don't want the public to know, it begs the question, is Ken really in love with Gypsy Rose? Because she's made hints at a ring and even told people on a live panel when asked why she doesn't have a ring, she said, you're going to have to ask him about that. But nobody in the last couple months has asked her, are you and Ken really engaged to be married? Because allegedly the answer is yes, they have been, but I just don't see it. He doesn't seem to be sexually or physically attracted to her no matter what she does to change her appearance. And I think her forever changing appearance and aesthetics probably is a turnoff. In my experience, men are pretty simple. They tend to like natural also, not necessarily fake, and fake, or overly skinny and don't eat. They want to feel loved, respected, valued, especially being a financial provider for their wife, girlfriend, baby mama, and their children. For the majority of men, I've never seen a man actually complain or demand that a woman is aesthetically fake. In my own experience, men tend to love real, unfiltered, no makeup, imperfections, and flaws. Because everybody is imperfect aesthetically and flawed. But I think Gypsy has ruined it for Ken. Ruined what little attraction or love was there. I'm sure he would rather work, come home, play video games than actually have sex with Gypsy Rose. Those are the off-put type of vibes that he's giving to me anyway. He doesn't seem to be overly happy or excited to announce that they're going to get married, to get her a real ring and be the man of his family. And I think Gypsy's indecisiveness, her erratic and impulsive behavior, and her constant attention, being on social media, being on content creators, being on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. I'm sure that's not only been the biggest red flag for Ken, it's probably the biggest turnoff because it proves she hasn't changed and she has no self-control. It also proves that she can't be a safe, stable, consistent wife and mother. And I'm sure he sees that trouble because it's already created trouble between them. It's also said that Gypsy, Mia, and Christy are no longer following each other on their socials. And now that Gypsy is pushing people to really go watch her YouTube channel, which she hasn't uploaded any real content in quite a long time now, it's really giving that Ken is only there because of the baby. And a lot of men do that. A lot of women do that when they're unhappy and they're stuck. But you let me know what you think down in the comments section. Do you think Ken is really in love with Gypsy, or is he just controlling her because he thinks he's in close proximity to fame and money? Because I would never say that how can somebody be aesthetically attracted to somebody who clearly has a genetic disorder, because there are people out there that are attracted to people for who they are. It's just not applicable in this case because we all know who Gypsy really is. And what do you think about Gypsy, Mia, and Christy not following each other on social? I think something happened, especially with the baby photos. Even though that was like 5 months ago, such an old news story. Drop your comments and let me know your thoughts. I gotta hear them.
Sorry that you fell in love with a piece of shit like me.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. Please like and share. Don't forget to smash the subscribe button, and I will catch you all on the flip side. God bless you.